The Ampere architecture was, in my opinion, one of the greatest GPU releases in recent years, but it launched in the dark ages of 2020 and 2021. Between the crypto boom, scalpers, and Python scripters preying on every restock, cards like this RTX 3070 were listed for over $1,000 back in the day. 5 years later, the market has healed. Prices on the 3000 series have finally come down. Here in Thailand, you can buy a 3070 for around 190 to 220 US dollars on the used market. It's a great card, but in 2025, we are seeing its limits in 1440p where it used to shine. This brings us to the main topic of this video, the RTX 3080 Ti. This card is basically an RTX 3090 with its VRAM dropping from 24 gigs down to 12. And underneath is a monster, packing a whopping 10,240 CUDA cores, a 384-bit memory bus, and a TDP of 350 watts. This card had an MSRP of $1,200, and I was able to find a great deal on this beast for just 9,200 baht, equivalent to 290 US dollars. And to put that in perspective, that is the exact same price as a brand new RTX 5050 in Thailand. But the performance difference is massive. According to Tech Power Up, the RTX 5050 is 30% slower than the 3070, and the 3080 Ti is nearly 85% faster. In this video, I'm going to put the 3080 Ti to the test to see how much of a difference a high-end GPU from 2021 has over a mid-ranged GPU. To feed the 3080 Ti, I'm running it on my newly updated AM5 system. The CPU is the Ryzen 5 7500F with a 200MHz PBO and a curve optimizer of -20, effectively giving me a 200MHz overclock and undervolting by 20 millivolts. The motherboard is the ASRock B650M Pro RS, paired with 32GB of DDR5 running at 6000MHz CL36 with my own custom subtimings. The rest of the specs, including my CPU cooler, power supply, and NVIDIA drivers are on screen right now. Starting off with Rainbow Six Siege on the Anvil Next 2.0 engine, this game is extremely well optimized. The 3070 managed an average of 278 FPS on medium and 187 on ultra. While the 3070 is already great here, the 3080 Ti achieves 356 FPS on medium and 257 on ultra, ensuring you can fully saturate a 240 or a 360Hz monitor on any graphical setting. Meanwhile, if you want a high refresh rate experience with the 3070, you'll have to stick with medium. Marvel Rivals, developed by NetEase, had its official release a year ago. Running on Unreal Engine 5, it is a chaotic hero shooter with heavy visual effects. Here, I have the game tested with DLSS quality. In medium settings, the 3080 Ti averages 139 FPS and 87 FPS in ultra, while the 3070 runs the game at 115 FPS on medium and 65 FPS on ultra. The 3080 Ti really shows its raw horsepower in comparison to the 3070. These benchmark results only average in the hundreds of FPS, so if you want to make full use of a high refresh rate monitor, I'd recommend dropping shadow quality and switching to DLSS performance. Fortnite, also on Unreal Engine 5, was tested in DX11 and performance mode. And interestingly, the 3070 actually had better results in performance mode, averaging almost 320 FPS, where the 3080 Ti barely gets past 300. I have no clue what caused a 20 FPS difference since I reran the test multiple times, but the differences aren't significant. Other than that, we have a hard CPU bottleneck on every graphical setting, proving that the 3070 is still more than capable for high refresh competitive gaming, given that your CPU can push those frames. PUBG is a game that I've started playing more recently. Running on the older Unreal Engine 4 with the DX11 enhanced API, the 3080 Ti simply brute forces this engine and pushes 230 FPS on medium and 166 on ultra, delivering a 1440p high refresh experience, where the 3070 can only push 186 and 126 FPS on medium and ultra respectively. These results show that the 3070 isn't enough to comfortably saturate a 240Hz monitor. Where Winds Meet is a brand new free-to-play title developed by NetEase. This is a demanding open-world title running on the proprietary Messiah engine. Running the game on ultra settings DLAA, both cards gave a strong console-like experience, with 1% lows at 60. Although the 3080 Ti has greater averages at 81, the 3070 averages 71 FPS and consistently had similar 1% lows to the 3080 Ti. This makes the experience on both cards feel very similar. By enabling some upscaling, we are able to push frame rates near 100 on both cards, and can probably be pushed even further by dropping some quality settings too. Next up is Monster Hunter Wilds, and sadly I can only run the benchmark tool given on Steam. Running on the latest iteration of the RE engine, this game highlights the problem with many new gen titles, where the game is too intensive for the visuals you actually get. Tested on the medium preset with DLSS quality, the 3070 averages around the mid-60s, but dips down to the mid-40s. The 3080 Ti improves upon this with an average of 78 FPS, and crucially, it stays near the 60 FPS mark even in the dips. Hogwarts Legacy on Unreal Engine 4 was a mess at launch back in 2023. Running around in Hogsmeade in Ultra DLAA, the 3070 delivers playable performance, but will definitely struggle in some scenes, whereas the 3080 Ti will still be near 60 FPS. However, ray tracing destroys both cards. Tested in the high preset with high RT, the CPU becomes the bottleneck. The 3080 Ti averages 62 FPS and the 3070 averages 43 FPS. If we enable DLSS quality, the 3080 Ti is barely being utilized, having around 50 to 60% utilization. But DLSS quality boosts the 3070 up to just over 60 FPS. Both cards suffer huge frame drops when encountering specific lighting, and it seems to be an ongoing engine issue, so I would recommend leaving RT off for this title. Hogwarts Legacy is also known to remove textures when pushing past VRAM limits, so although the 3070 seems to perform well, there are definitely visual differences between these two cards, which makes the 3080 Ti significantly better for this title. Finally, we have GTA 5. The new Enhanced Edition brought features from next-gen consoles over to PC, and the visuals look slightly better compared to Legacy. With both cards running the game at maximum settings, including max RT, we are likely experiencing a CPU bottleneck again on the 3080 Ti. I expected the 3080 Ti to pull ahead by a larger margin, but the 3070 performs exceptionally well here, delivering 79 FPS compared to 99 on the 3080 Ti. So, is the jump from a 3070 to a 3080 Ti worth it in 2025? For AAA titles that hog VRAM or are unoptimized, it is absolutely worth upgrading. The 3000 series pricing has dropped significantly over the past few years. Even though it is 2 generations old, the 3080 Ti is still one of the fastest cards on the market and is in a completely different class of performance compared to the 3070 and even current gen 8GB cards. For competitive shooters, however, you might see diminishing returns. If that's your main focus, upgrading to a better CPU like the 7800X3D or the 9800X3D would probably give you a bigger jump in frames. Those faster CPUs will also allow you to upgrade to a better GPU down the line. Anyways, we are reaching the end of this video. If you have any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave them down below. I spent a lot of time and ran over 100 test runs, so if you found this helpful or enjoyed it, leaving a like on the video really helps the channel. I have future plans for other games, so subscribe to not miss out. I also occasionally stream over on Twitch, so if you like FPS games or just want to say hi, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.